Hello everyone, welcome back to my programming tutorial in C Sharp. This time we're gonna look at arrays. Basically what an array is a collection of data. What I mean about that is, well, we could write a, well, and we could write an amount of um, variables like int 1, no, we can't do that. Int a equals 1, let's just take it from an end. Int b equals 1, int c equals 2, int d equals 3, and so on. As you can see, that quickly gets very long and very tedious, and no one really has time for that. So, what we can do instead is that we can make an array. Alright, you ask, what is an array, and how do I make one, and how do they work? Well, start by typing int, or any kind of data type that you want. You could write double, or you could write string, doesn't matter. Let's just write int to begin with. And let's see, you want an int array, right? So int, right bracket, no, left bracket, right bracket. This means integer array. Let's call that something. Let's call it array of ints, for the lack of a better name. Alright. So now we have an empty array of integers. Alright. So how do we fill it out? Well, first of all, what is an array of integers? Well, it's basically you have, instead of having one number in the array, well, in the data type, that's what it's called, rather than just having int a equals 5 or 3, you could have int a equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then all of that is stored on a, right? Except the syntax isn't quite like this. Now, there are a number of ways that you can make an array of integers. Let's do the simplest one. We have an array of integers, and we make a new integer array that is 10 cells long, right? So now this array will contain 10 cells, or actually does contain 10 cells. They just don't have anything yet. So you can represent this as 10 empty cells. Most likely all of them have zeros in them right now. Alright, so how do we fill these out? Well, let's say we have array of ints. We want to store something on this spot right here. Arrays are numbered slightly differently from what you'd expect. This one is called 0. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. In programming, basically everything is numbered from 0 to 1 less than you'd expect. So even though I wrote 10 here, it always, and I do mean always, starts on a 0 and ends on a 9. So we say array of ints on spot number 0. Let's store 10, right? On spot number 3, we'll store 6. On spot number 9, we will store a 1. So now our array looks like this. Oops. Oops. Hold on. Now our array looks like this. That wasn't needed. On spot number 0, we have 10. On spot number 3, that is this one, we have 6. And spot number 9, we have 1. How do we show this? Well, let's do it the horribly long and painfully slow way of doing it, and say console dot write line array of ints index 0. And I'm just going to copy this line 10 times. That should be enough. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll get to a easier method of doing this later, but that's for a different tutorial. So now we print the array, and as you see, the very first one is a 10, just like we stored here. Next, the fourth one is a 6, just like we stored here, and the last one, the 10th one, is a 1. All the others are zeros, exactly like we wrote it here. That's basically an array, but as you might see, this way of writing it down is horribly slow, and to be quite honest, there is a much easier way of doing it. To do that, we're going to need to delete all of this. First, what you're going to do is just going to delete these lines as well. Alright. Left curly brace. Then you fill in the numbers that you want to put in. It's like, say I want 7, 8, 3, 5, 1, 4, 2, 6, 11, and 25. Is that enough? No, one more. 30. And curly bracket. No. For some reason that... Oh yeah, sorry. New int array. There we go. Sorry about that. But yeah, you make the new integer array, and then you fill in the numbers accordingly. Basically what this allows us to do is that we have the same 10 spots as before, but we filled in the numbers immediately rather than doing it later. So now if we run the program, you'll see this. 7, 8, 3, 5, 1, 4, 6, 11, 25, and 30. Exactly like we wrote it here. And as you see, that's a much quicker way of doing things. Let's try a different kind of array. Let's try string array instead. String array, array of strings equals, hopefully it works. Hello. This is Johnny with a capital J. Speaking. This time it worked. I think the reason why I couldn't do it before is because I wrote it on two separate lines. I'm not quite sure. I never use arrays like this anyway, in my real life programming, but anyway. Just gonna show you what I mean about that. We'll get to this in a later tutorial, but right now I'll show you how I usually put stuff into integers, or into arrays of integers. I do something like this. Basically what this does is just add the numbers 1 through 100. Sorry about that. Numbers 1 through 100 um, to the corresponding place, but we'll get to that in a later tutorial. Yeah. But yeah. Hello, this is Johnny speaking. Right, let's print that. Let's forget about that. It's not needed anymore. Console dot write line array of strings index 0, and yes, this number in between those brackets is called an index, hence why I'm saying index 0. So the next one would be index 1, index 2, index 3, so on. That's one too many, and I should have pressed enter. So index 1, index 2, index 3, and index 4. Run. Hello, this is Johnny speaking. Now, what would happen if I chose a number greater than the amount of things in my array? Let's say I didn't know that all arrays started on a 0. Let's say I thought they started on a 1 instead. So I did this instead, which would make sense. I mean, this is the first one, second, third, fourth, and fifth. But if we do this, this happens. Index out of range exception. Basically, what that does is that it tells you that index 5 doesn't exist, because this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you're trying to access a string that is out here somewhere. It simply doesn't exist in this context. So you get an out of range exception, and the entire program crashes. Let's see, yeah. So the entire program would crash, and you wouldn't be able to do this. Same thing if I set string array of strings index 5, which doesn't exist by the way, equals hola amigos, or hola technically. I suck at Spanish. Anyway, it doesn't complain, but it shouldn't work either, because index 5 doesn't exist. How do we fix this? Well, we could fix it like this. It's a very lazy way of fixing it, but it should work. Hold on, let's stop the program first and try again. Now it works. This is Johnny speaking. Hola amigos. Well, basically what we did was just add the 5th or 6th place in the array. But yeah, that's just lazy stuff.
anyway, I guess that will conclude my very messy tutorial of arrays for now. I'll talk to you later.